Lurking in the dark, murky swamps of the American South is a reptile that looks like it crawled straight out of the Pleistocene. The alligator snapping turtle can easily surpass 150 pounds. It can live for over a century, and its jaws have enough force to snap right through bone. They also have a highly energy-efficient adaptation built right into their anatomy. By resting at the bottom with their mouths wide open, they use a pink, worm-like appendage on their tongue as a built-in fishing lure. Scientists at the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department recently discovered they possess an impressive long-term memory. Once caught and released, the turtle actively learns to avoid traps in the future. Heavy armor, an extremely long lifespan, built-in camouflage, and the intelligence to avoid repeat threats. Biologically speaking, this animal should be totally invincible. Yet throughout the 20th century, alligator snapping turtle populations collapsed across the southeastern United States. A massive cultural appetite for turtle meat during the 20th century triggered a population decline that physical armor simply couldn't stop. All that evolutionary armor and learned intelligence provided exactly zero protection against a hidden mathematical vulnerability in the species' own biology. Back in the 18th century, turtle soup was an elite status symbol dish served in the high society dining rooms of London and Philadelphia. Over the next 2 centuries, that aristocratic recipe grew into a massive commercial meat market. By the 1960s and 70s, major food corporations like Campbell's Soup were driving an insatiable demand for the meat. Trappers were extracting 3 to 4 tons of alligator snapping turtles from a single waterway, like Georgia's Flint River, every single day. This volume of extraction broke the species' ability to replace itself, leading directly to an irreversible mathematical collapse. This timeline illustrates the agonizingly slow life cycle of the alligator snapper. It takes an individual anywhere from 11 to 17 years just to reach sexual maturity. Expanding this into a population funnel, we see that nest survival rates are incredibly low. Predators like raccoons destroy the vast majority of eggs, meaning between 80 and 95% of hatchlings never even make it into the water. Looking at this 98% threshold, you can see how the entire population structure is precariously balanced. For a population to remain stable, 98% of all adult females must survive every single year. This trend line projects what happens when human trappers interfere. If you drop that adult survival rate by nearly 2%, taking just 2 adult females out of a 200 turtle population, you mathematically have the entire population within 50 years. The alligator snapping turtle wasn't defeated by physical force. Humans simply broke the rigid demographic math keeping the species alive. Today, commercial harvesting is largely outlawed across their range, though Louisiana remains a notable exception. But populations are still deeply fractured. In an attempt to fix the numbers, some commercial farms use a strategy called head starting, breeding turtles in captivity and releasing thousands of babies into the wild. Biologically, this fails on 2 fronts. Mixing captive-bred turtles threatens the unique genetic diversity of different river systems, and the life tables prove that dumping babies into a river means absolutely nothing if the breeding adults aren't surviving. We cannot engineer our way around nature's demographic math. True conservation requires protecting the slow-growing adults rather than mass-producing infants. That brings us back to the trap avoidance discovery in Texas. Because biologists couldn't catch the same turtles twice, they realized their previous data was heavily biased. There are actually far more alligator snappers out there than we previously thought. Down in the murky river bottoms, they are using their natural camouflage and their long-term memory to stay completely hidden from human threats. Finding these ancient, thriving turtles in a waterway is one of the strongest primary indicators of a high-quality, healthy river ecosystem. Surviving the human era demands heavy armor and a bone-snapping bite, but it also requires adaptable intelligence, strict legal protection, and a century of undisturbed time.